Good morning. Welcome to morning practice. My name's Olivia. Lovely to have you with me this morning. Again, it's you think Mercury retrograde is over, and then you realize something happened, and the influence is still being felt, at least by me, and that's not at all surprising. So uh, I would expect disruption somewhat, and unexpected unexpected things that need attention. And if I could tell myself anything half an hour ago, just keep reviewing and checking and check again and check again before you leave the house. Anyway, it's lovely to have you here. It's Monday, April 29th, and I just want to announce formally, finally, that I have made a decision and I am going to wrap up morning practice. It has been so much fun, but we'll go through to the next new moon, which is May 7th, towards May 7th. So whatever classes fall in or before May 7th will be our last morning practices online, and it's time to direct the energy and attention elsewhere. And this material will be available on YouTube for a while to utilize, and because they are sort of timeless practices, it's really just giving you the tools and the basic structure. And if I feel called at any point to re-begin morning practice, I will put that on the website, which the link is in the box below if you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, I feel like I think everyone can say as we move towards the end of April, even though April feels actually like it's been quite a long month, um, the energy is shifting again, and there feels like a very strong sense of forward momentum energy. At least that's what I'm picking up on. And forward momentum energy in a sort of easier rhythm. We've got the large energies that we're still working with, and they will be present for the rest of this year. And I mean, the Jupiter Uranus is a new synodic cycle, which is a 14-year cycle. So the big influence of those energies is really March to May, but we'll feel this kind of shattering of old systems, especially in relationship to Pluto moving into Aquarius, where we're forming our own new paradigms. And I think everywhere I go and every conversation I have, this is absolutely being borne out. People are stepping into their power. They are not accepting old paradigms, and they are creating new and very beautiful paradigms of their own to work with and from, and things that we haven't seen before, ways of being in relationship we haven't seen before, ways of sharing and managing business structure that we haven't seen before. And I think that this is a very exciting time to sort of direct and participate in the formation of these new structures and be creative and find your like inner authenticity and your inner agency. And maybe that's partially why I feel like I'm wrapping the channel up. I'm not actually sure this format is effective in doing what I'm trying to do, which is get a really strong voice and in helping people connect with and activate and expand their heart awareness. And um, yeah, I'd love to. That's really what my devotion and dedication is to, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the way to do it. I mean, it helps, and I really appreciated everybody that has watched, but I feel like it needs to be more in a more direct way. And so I'm going to start putting my attention and focus there. But we'll continue through the rest of this lunar cycle because that feels right to me, and we'll just take a moment to appreciate this beautiful Monday morning. The sky is blue, the birds are singing. It's still April, and we're really feeling that kind of deliciousness of spring everywhere, and new ideas and new paradigms, and just like the possibilities that it's bringing up. And I feel, the year was, there's some, there's some intensity out there, and I don't think any of us can question that. But when we can drop into our hearts and really connect to who we are authentically and really want to bring that forward to share with others and to create new communities, create new models from a place of authenticity in our own heart knowing, I think, there's so much potential for healing, for creativity, for technology. It's, when we actually sort of like really take the cap off and are like, oh, what can my imagination create today? And let yourself go there. That's pretty exciting. Just checking everything's on because it's amazing how many times everything's kind of malfunctioned. But yeah, we're gonna drop into our heart meditation this morning and just, maybe just taking a moment as we find our seat to let that kind of pleasure of being part of this change, having a voice in this change, let that pleasure fill your awareness for a moment, and we'll just come to a nice tall spine and feel yourself sitting in a way that feels supported for your lower back, for your upper back, so that your tailbone and sit bones are supported in a way that you can sit comfortably. Ideally, you'd like your hips raised above the knees. But if it's sitting in a chair or if it's sitting on your bed with yourself propped up, as long as your spine is feeling elongated, as long as you're feeling authentic and truthful and comfortable, drop in and just notice the body and notice the sensation of pleasure in the body. Feel the points of contact resting on whatever is supporting you, almost as if the body in that contact is appreciating the support. And let's take a big breath in together, breathing in, filling up, and sighing it out. Ah. Let's do that again. And maybe pointing the chin down towards the chest. Breathing in, filling up the torso, filling up the chest cavity, and sighing it out. Ah. And then just let your breath slowly come to normal. And as the breath expands and contracts the chest, you might just place your awareness with the heart as if you could feel the breath expanding and contracting the heart space as much as it is expanding and contracting the chest cavity. As if the breath were waking up the heart this morning. Really finding that sense of the spine reaching, elongating, reaching toward the sky as if there was a beautiful lotus flower on your head and your petals were just delicately straining to flutter so slightly in this gorgeous spring sunshine. And you're feeling the breath filling the heart space, releasing through the heart space as the flower on your head blossoms, opening wider towards this star, our sun, to receive its light, its energy. Feeling the tailbone grounding in or grounded into this planet, into this earth. And then we may bring your awareness in some form to the heart space, finding the heart center, finding the heart center and breathing into the heart space. Let your awareness just focus around the sensations in the heart space this morning. Is your heart beating faster, slower? Is it still quite quiet? Do you notice the incredible energy coming off of your hands and your palms, connecting to the toroidal field of the heart, feeling that energetic magnification, and placing your awareness there really intentionally, as if between the immense energetic power of your palms, the incredible energetic light your heart is emitting, you're like magnifying this toroidal field. And allow yourself to feel the expansion. And as you breathe here, feeling the heart space expanding, its electrical force and power expanding. So imagine, focus on that light, Jyoti, that emits from the center of your being. Power of your heart is the heart of your power. And if there is a person, a place in the world, a situation in this world that you would like to offer and dedicate the benefit of your positive heart energy and healing toward, you can bring that into being now and place your offering or dedication in the center of your light and feel your light cradling, gently holding with compassion and ease and understanding. And your light, as you hold this dedication, this offering, just gently grows all around you, throughout your internal space, lighting up each chakra energy center, giving even greater illumination to the hands, to the feet, crown of the head, tailbone. And that light spills beyond the perimeter of the body into the auric field, and you are a spectrum of brilliant rainbows, dazzling emanating from the center of your being, the center of your feeling, the center of your knowing. Just feel the beautiful radiance of that spectrum of rainbow light, kaleidoscopic, ever changing, ever shimmering. Your auric field lit up, and your light travels beyond the space you're in, beyond the architectural three-dimensional understanding, and just reaches infinitely at any distance across this planet. As each of us, our heart lights connecting, cover the entire earth with the power and beauty of our heart light, together magnified, together stronger, together exponential. We'll take a few more moments in silence to feel and appreciate the quality of that light, that connection. Allow yourself to just feel here, just feel. And we'll take a big breath in and a big breath out. And then we're going to take an inhale to Om together. And as you prepare to Om and give voice to your throat chakra, imagine that you are toning the sound of your heart light. So breathing into Om. So good. Feels good. So let's take a little breath work together here. We'll start our music up for the day. And yeah, I think we'll just do some Kapalabhati breathing. Kapalabhati is the short, sharp exhales where you contract the belly in. We'll take it for about a minute. And I've got my handy clock with us. Second ticking hand. And if you don't like Kapalabhati breathing, definitely don't do it. Don't do it if you're pregnant or if there's any sort of blood pressure issues, and just take a nice even 4 count in and 4 count out, exhale, inhale. So we'll begin when you're ready. And you can engage the bandhas here if that feels good. Really pulling the belly in and up with each exhale.
Shanti, Shanti.
10 more seconds. Slow it down, let it go. Breathing in and breathing out. So good for clearing the brain fog, right? Just noticing. It's like taking a broom through the brain, and then after a couple of bhati, the quality of quiet and stillness is somehow elongated, expanded. We'll go over to the mat to start practice. I've got blocks here. We'll do some gratitude breathing on the mat. If you don't have blocks, don't worry. If you don't have blankets, don't worry, but they can be helpful for underneath the knees for support. Yes, and if you are lucky enough to have a sip of water nearby, that can feel really, really, really nice in this little transitory moment. And I think I'm going to sit in Virasana. So last week I said we were going to focus more on Hanuman this week, and so I didn't know this, but Virasana is a Hanuman pose connected to his story, which we will go more into, I think, tomorrow. But we'll just be aware of the focal point being remembering our magical gifts that we all have, our inner divinity that resides in each of us, and bringing that into being with joy and with actually a sort of like essential magic at this critical time that it is needed. So, and Virasana, where you're sitting on your knees, and I'm sitting on a block between my knees because I find that to be better. It's very good for our knee joints. But if you're feeling or experiencing any knee pain, and I had knee surgery 10 years ago. Actually, no, but it was 2014. And I couldn't do Virasana for probably about a year. So if it's not an accessible pose, just sit cross-legged. And we'll rest our dominant hand in the non-dominant hand and just find the seat here, reaching the spine tool. And then inhaling our arms overhead, hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to heart, and just offering such gratitude for this body, this life, this incredible vessel of life force that we walk, run, amble around in, get to climb up hills, ride bicycles, make love, kiss our dear ones. Life is pretty good in a body. This is an incredible instrument of consciousness, of sensory intelligence. We may be interrupted, but we are grateful for everything that the world has to offer, and grateful for all the work that everyone does. And just a little forewarning there. And just again, just really offering gratitude for this body. Thank you, body, for your health, for your well-being, for the pleasure, for the sensation. And inhaling, arms overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart, just offering love and gratitude for, hey, you know that your key works on the other side, right? It does both doors. It's okay, just come through. It's okay, don't worry. Yeah, it does both doors now. Just so you know. That's fine. Thank you for your work. It's always fun here. I think it's such a great reminder, and especially as we were about to give thanks for every other person on the planet, we're all working together, we're all in this together. We're all part of, you know, the work that Cesar does here is so vital and essential and so appreciated. And just, to have the space, the people who offered to let me use the space when I asked, and it's just, we're all work together, and we do the best we can to support each other. And just really, really grateful for all beings everywhere, the ones we know, the ones we don't know, those who teach us, those who support us. Everyone is essential. Everyone. So grateful for. And inhaling the arms overhead, hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to heart, really intentionally offering gratitude for this planet, this earth that we live on. All that it does to support and nourish us, to always provide this beautiful consciousness of nature that we know and understand in this moment, that has been the most beautiful thing to inhabit for the duration of our lives. The trees, the flowers, all of the many different environments, ecosystems, whether it's freezing cold tundras or deserts or rainforests, jungle, beautiful crisp oceans, whether you're in the northern Outer Hebrides in Scotland or in the sunny swells of Mexico. Just the variedness of it, and the lakes and lochs and fjords, and this is such a beautiful planet. It would be an undertaking for one's life from age 0 till 80, 90, just to try and see it all. It really is a truly exquisite place. I'm very grateful that it is our home. So letting that being said, really feeling into your sense of gratitude for the earth, and letting the hands come to the side. We'll take some torso rolls to the right and some torso rolls to the left that might look slightly opposite to you. And then we're going to come up off of our block onto our hands and knees. I'm going to place my blocks at the top of the mat here. And I'm actually just going to have us come back into a child's pose. And just let the hips drop, let the head drop onto the mat. Just feeling the feelings this morning. It's been a lot going on this morning. And sometimes when you feel like the body is experiencing a lot of energy, rather than speeding up, one likes to slow down. So we'll just do some cat-cows here. The cow is dropping the belly, lifting the heart space, lifting the tail. The cat pressing up between the shoulder blades, drawing the belly in, dropping the head, dropping the tail, feeling the length of the back of the neck. And yeah, just allow yourself some nice sound making, letting the vibration of the throat send a greater signal of ease through the body. If you want to add some rolling movement, some intuitive hip rolling, and just wrinkling out all the
wringing out all the wrinkles from the weekend or anything else that might have happened. Oh, just allowing the body to feel. And then we're going to roll back as if rolling back to child's pose and then coming forward, just letting the hips drop and reaching the chest up and rolling back. We'll take that a couple of times. And then I think we're going to actually go into pigeon. So once more. And then you're going to bring your right knee forward behind your right hand. And the chin can just go diagonally on the mat. If you were leaning to the side like this, your right hip is going to be on the ground. You want to look over your left shoulder. Just check that your left leg is straight behind you. And then you're going to face forward. So pressing your hands in front of your shin and pushing up. Now, if you're finding that your right hip is not on the ground here, take a blanket and put the blanket under the hip. So you've just got some support under the hips. And we're going to reach the chest up. Really feeling just a small sense of a back bend here. And then allowing the chest to come forward. Allowing the head to come down to the ground. Just resting and stretching the hips. Just a nice hip stretch way to start the practice today. Really keeping some consciousness connected to the breath. If you like to practice Ujjayi breathing, that can feel good, but sometimes it's just breathing with the movement that feels in a way that's aligned. Letting the inhales and exhales expand the spine, lengthening the spine. Letting the inhales and exhales expand into the hip stretch and just like letting yourself release into that hip stretch even more with each exhale. Notice if you're holding, if there's tension, and just try to slowly unclaw that little fist of tension if you're experiencing it. Gently encouraging the hips to let go and relax here. On your next inhale, you're going to press your hands into the ground and reach the heart center forward. We'll tuck our back toes, and this is really just to come out of pigeon and come back to a tabletop. And then we'll just take a cat inhale here in a tabletop. And then we'll bring and I know you can't see this in my jumper, we'll bring the left shin forward again. It can be just diagonally across the mat. The back leg, look over your right shoulder to see that the back leg is straight, and you can use the tuck toes to help you straighten the leg. And then if your hips are not on the ground, just place a folded blanket under the left hip, and then we'll reach the chest up and arm down to the mat. Folding now over the left shin, allowing the consciousness and awareness now to fall into the left hip and perhaps the jaw and perhaps the shoulders, and just noticing where our little gripping fists of tension might be, and just encouraging those little fists of tension to ungrasp. Release. let go. Feeling how the weight of the body and the breath assists the easefulness of this pose. Gravity itself expanding, the release, the breath, helping the body to intentionally relax into the stretching of the hip. Feeling the ease, feeling the pleasure of this pose, of this stretch. And then on your next inhale, you're going to press into your hands, bringing your chest center forward. We'll just tuck the toes to assist us coming out of this pose. And just come back to all fours. Lifting the tail, lifting the chest, rounding the back, dropping the tail. Oh, right. And then we'll lift up the right arm and thread the right arm underneath the hand so that the head can come down to the mat. The left arm might even come out to the upper part of the mat. Your hips are just going to stay above your knees. And you're going to press into that left hand, which will help you access that right shoulder stretch a little bit. Nice morning stretches of the hips and shoulders. And as you're ready, we'll come back to all fours, taking a cat and cow, or a cow and cat, whatever order feels correct to you. And then we'll lift the left arm up. Left arm will thread underneath the body, so the back of the upper arm is on the mat. The right hand can extend towards the top of the mat. Hips stay above the knees. Just be in the stretch. Just let yourself feel the stretch on the back of the shoulder here. And then we'll press back up to all fours, curling the tail, rounding the tail, and then tucking the toes. Press to just a gentle downward dog where you're just going to walk each leg out and really lifting the hips, and allow yourself to really bend into the knees. Just more of a dynamic downward dog. You're not really staying still in the pose, but like allow yourself to bend each knee, to bend both knees. Explore movement in downward dog to find length. Curling the upper arms outward. Just allowing yourself to feel the different muscle groups, the different structural groups coming into presence. And then we'll bring the right foot forward between the hands to a runner's lunge. And let's just take a moment in runner's lunge, bringing the right hip back, bringing the crown of the head forward instead of the eyes. Feel like the crown of the head is coming forward, and then really from the back of the chest, start to beam the chest forward. And then we'll let that back knee come down to the ground, and we'll come up into a low lunge, reaching our arms to the sky. Inhaling, reaching, exhaling, lengthening. Bringing the hands back to the chest, framing the front foot. We'll just take a half splits this morning. So you may even want to bring that back knee back a few inches as you rock back and straighten the front leg. Just rolling on that heel. And we'll inhale and lengthen the spine, and exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. And then rebending that knee, tucking the back toes, pressing back to your downward dog. Just again, rolling from one foot to the other. And then we'll bring the left foot between the hands and take a moment to find your runner's lunge here. Really feeling like the energy that's drawing the heart center forward is really coming from the back of the heart as you press into your heel. And then letting that come down to the ground, untucking the toes, pressing into your front foot as you reach your arms overhead into a low lunge. And really feeling that dual action of pressing into the ground as you reach towards the sky. And then hands can come down to frame the foot. We'll rock back just on the heel first and move. And if you want to move that back knee back a little bit, just finding some movement here. And inhale, we'll lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Oh. And then rebending that front leg, tucking the toes, coming back into a downward dog. And just walk our feet up to the top of the mat, keeping a lovely, generous bend in the knees, letting the torso hang and rest on the top of the thighs, and just resting here. Maybe nodding the head, maybe wiggling the shoulders, the hips a little bit. And then we'll slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until we get to standing, stepping out to a 5-pointed star, being once again amazed at how quickly the time goes together. And just feeling that 5-pointed star for a moment. The chest lifts up to the sky, and we'll come into goddess, bending both knees, feeling the energy of receiving, receptivity, letting the inner thighs really turn on here. And feel your shoulders maybe dropping down the back, feeling the tailbone drop. There's a lengthening quality to the spine. And then we press up to our 5-pointed star and parallel the feet, reaching the chest up and coming down into a wide leg forward fold. Prasarita, Padottanasana. Letting yourself fold here. If you'd like support under your head, you can put a block under the head. But really, again, just giving a nice stretch to the hips as you
Feel the back of the legs really lengthening, really feeling long and strong at the back of the hamstring. And that allows the whole sort of torso and crown of the head to drop more vertically from the base of the spine. And then pressing into our hands, we'll bend into the left knee and just come to a side lunge here. And if you want, you can turn your foot out, your left foot out, spinning up on the right heel for a skandasana. Just allowing the inner thighs to get a nice stretch this morning. And if you're feeling like you want to reach the arms, you're going to reach that right arm up and left arm comes in front. Just again, feeling that across the upper back. If you're feeling inspired to take a bind here, stretch the shoulders a little bit. That can feel good. Really feeling the length of the spine though as you take the bind. Feel the tailbone drop and the crown of the head lift. And you can release that as you're ready. We'll just go to a side lunge on the other side, coming all the way down to Singhanasana if that is comfortable. Or bending into your right leg, your left leg is straight. Really giving a good stretch into that left inner thigh. And again, you may take the arms wide, reaching the left arm up into the sky, the right arm out in front. And then as you're ready, taking the bind, if that feels like it is something that will be supportive in your practice this morning. Breathing and feeling the length of the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And you will release your bind as you're ready. And we'll just come back to our knees for a moment, to Virasana. And let's just sit on our knees and feel that. And we'll bring that left arm up and let the left hand drop behind the head. And you can take the right hand and just hold the elbow here and just give yourself a nice shoulder stretch here. If you would like to take the left hand behind and bind the hands together, that can feel good. Keep the elbow pointing upward. You can even begin to lift the chest up here. And lengthening the arm, releasing both hands, and we'll take the other side. Raising the right hand, letting the right hand drop behind the head, taking the left hand, and just begin by holding the elbow and feeling that. And then if you want to reach around and take the bind on this side, go ahead. I can't take the bind on this side, so I'm just gonna hold the elbow because that is gonna give me a better stretch than trying to take the bind. And even I might just bend a little bit to the left there. Oh, that feels good. And then releasing, and we'll come to our backs on the ground. And we'll take a really simple 3 bridge poses. So feet are about hip width apart, knees face up, and you're just gonna roll up vertebrae by vertebrae till you come to the shoulder girdle. And then really press into the feet, press into the hips to just give yourself even more of a stretch. And then bringing it down. Resting for a moment, feeling the hips on the ground. And then we're going to press up into our bridge again.
allowing yourself to feel really active as you press through the feet and the hips. And then rolling down the length of the spine. Resting, consciously resting. Something we all should incorporate just a little bit more, right? And then rolling up. Allowing yourself to experience some feeling of pleasure in the body as you take your bridge. I'm just keeping my arms loose at my side, but you can totally clasp the hands underneath, rolling onto the outer parts of the upper arms even more. I'm just taking it easy this morning, and then coming down. I'm going to lift my right leg, put the right ankle on the left knee, and then bring that towards just holding the back of the thigh. If you want to hold the front of the knee, that can feel good too. You can explore just a little radial motion here. Just see if that can get a little bit into the hip in a different way. And then letting the foot fall will let everything just fall to the left as it is. And then you'll take your left hand and press that into the right knee, as almost if you're pressing that away from you. And you should feel that in the lower right back a little bit. Yep, there it went. I just heard my hip pop, which was the aim of that procedure. And if you like, you can look out over your right hand. You would like to change the stretch slightly and just let everything fall to the left, and that's going to get a different part of the back of the right hip. And then coming back to center, both feet on the ground, raising the left foot, left ankle to right knee draws in. And just again, feel how this is different than the pigeon that we originally started with. You might want to explore a little radial motion here. And then letting the right foot drop, keeping everything as it is, and just letting it fall over to the right, taking the right hand and pressing that into the left knee, and feeling that active stretch here in the lower back. You can even bring the left arm out. And as and when you feel like you might want to, you can just let everything fall to the left in a more traditional, just recline twist. Noticing the length of the spine here. Do you feel at ease? Do you feel expanded? And then when you're ready, you're just going to bring everything up. You're going to bring your knees in, and you're either going to take your toes or the outside or inside of your foot. I'm going to take my toes and come into happy baby, just bringing the knees down towards the ground, pressing up through the heels. And if you'd like to extend both legs to a wide straddle, you can do that, really pressing and activating through the toes and heels, feeling the quality of the stretch. And then bringing in the feet wherever they are, letting the feet come down to the mat, extending one leg and extending a second leg. Your palms face up, your eyes come to close. And just bring your focus and awareness to the lower back. And imagine there is a circle encircling the sacrum like a circle of paint. And you're just slowly releasing and relaxing, kind of squashing into that circle of paint around the lower back. And it feels good. It's like warm and firm. Just letting yourself let everything go here.
Slowly begin to let the awareness of movement return to the body. Maybe taking a deep breath in, maybe giving your body a full stretch from the tip of your toes to the fingers, the wrists, bending slightly side to side, just feeling yourself stretched again and slowly making your way to one side in a fetal position, taking a breath or two or more there before finding your way to a seat. Keeping the eyes soft, keeping the eyes closed. It's really, again, as we come to a seat together, you can bring your hands to the heart space in a way that feels reverent to you. And just once again, connect to that beautiful light emanating from the center of your being, filling your whole being, your auric field with this spectrum, rainbow brilliance, kaleidoscopic, beautiful, powerful light coming from the center of who you are, what you offer to the world as you navigate in your incredible, amazing physical vessel of the body. And breathing into that immensity, luminosity that you are. We will take a final Om together, and I invite you to imbue this Om with reverence for your own amazing self. So breathing in. Om. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. getting the week started, connecting to our hearts, connecting to each other, connecting to our bodies and our sense of gratitude for being here and for all that each of us does. We are all part of this collective coherence together, and every single one of you is essential, unique, and dazzlingly beautiful. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you here again soon, and feel free to explore the other practices. There are lots of different ones, and it's all quite a lot of fun.